Over the past year and a half, I've been involved in a conservation planning process in the upper Mississippi River. So today I've been asked to talk about how the partners came together and some steps they're taking to implement the plan we developed. So this all started when my director came to me and asked me if I had heard of the Illinois Wildlife Action Plan and Conservation Opportunity Areas, or COAs. And I said, yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar, and she said, great. We've been funded to lead a planning effort along a 400-mile stretch of the upper Mississippi River, the upper Mississippi River COA. And this is an area from the Illinois-Wisconsin border down to Alton, Illinois. And then she went on to explain that there's several agencies and over 100 organizations doing conservation in some capacity in this area. Some of these organizations and agencies may have a drastically different vision for what a healthy river system or for what a working river system looks like. And so I was essentially tasked with developing a shared regional vision and some local implementation strategies. So I took it and I dove right in, and I found out very quickly that this COA is home to over 200 species of greatest need of conservation. And so including priority resources like mussels and migratory birds and fish populations. I also learned in this huge 1.3 million acre area, there's over 120,000 acres of lands currently managed and owned for conservation. So to make this a little bit easier, we divided the area up into 4 100-mile sections. And so today I'm going to be talking very briefly about what folks did in the Quad Cities and their steps moving forward. So it all had to start with that vision of what a river system is. And in addition to riparian corridor connectivity, one major theme that kept emerging was lateral connectivity of the river system, connecting the channel with its floodplain. And to do this, all the partners had to have a seat at the table. You know, we had to have our usual suspects, the federal and state agencies, but also a number of organizations that are doing land conservation in the uplands as well. And so the purpose of this plan wasn't just to create a laundry list of pet projects that folks are doing. It was to figure out what the partnership could accomplish that no one agency or organization could accomplish on its own. Another purpose of the plan was to kind of bridge the gap between the State Wildlife Action Plan and local on-the-ground implementation. So a major component of this plan is providing education and outreach opportunities and possibly getting some work done while we're at it. So here you see students from Western Illinois University doing some seed collection on one of our protected prairies. 2 weeks prior, they were out in the field with DNR field staff doing some mussel surveys in the Rock River. Another component of the plan is providing education opportunities for school-age children. Getting kids out into the resource, making that connection, and building future stewards and future champions for our conservation work. And also, another important part of the plan is taking care of the lands that are already protected. And what's particularly inspiring about the Quad Cities area is its strong volunteer stewardship forces. Over the past spring and fall, these folks have put fire on the ground on over 500 acres of protected lands in the Quad Cities alone. And we found that this isn't just a part of our ecological vitality, this is a part of our economic vitality. Things like habitat management workshops and prescribed fire trainings can provide a source of income for some of these smaller stewardship organizations. And what this has evolved into is a more formal stewardship network, a fire alliance. These folks have the specific skill sets to arrange the contracts, develop the burn plans, and implement the stewardship and the burn plans when and where it needs to happen. So they're part of it. But contrary to popular belief, stewardship doesn't necessarily have to look like lighting the forest on fire. With help from a Forest Service grant, we've been able to do timber stand improvement invasive species removal, and hazardous fuels removal on several of our protected sites. But we found that if we want to achieve our broader goal and our broader vision, and also the broader vision of vital lands, that we need more lands. So in response to this, partners in the Quad Cities have realized that they need to increase their capacity for land acquisition and land protection. And we have a great opportunity to do that. So in 2008, the Natural Lands Institute acquired a 92-acre parcel. It's part of a 3,500-acre bottomland complex, Mylan Bottoms, just outside of the Quad Cities. Half of it is owned by the Corps and managed cooperatively by Fish and Wildlife Service and DNR. But Natural Lands Institute has developed a land protection plan that, if implemented, would virtually double the amount of protected lands in the bottomland complex and also connect it to a forest preserve and a federal recreation area downstream, Andalusia Slough. So we're at a bit of a jumping off point. We have big aspirations, but it's not without its challenges. A lot of federal and state habitat programs have been cut. People are limited in the amount of work they can do or when and where they can do it. But I try to stay inspired by the people that I've been privileged to work with. A lot of these folks are from the Quad Cities. They were raised there. They have a strong connection to the resource. So they stay motivated because they know they have an opportunity to protect a piece of their community and a piece of their identity. Thank you.